$1 bills from right to left, and then top to bottom as the prophecy instructs, we obtain knowledge of the rest of the symbolism and intention of the Great Seal. When two quarters are placed beside one another, we see the eagle slammed into the pyramid. The eagle represents an airplane. The pyramid represents a tower. This image on the folded $1 bills holds the same symbolism as the Tower Tarot card. Tarot cards are not only used in fortune telling, they also each hold specific qualities and can be charged according to those qualities. The tarot is a pictorial representation of forces of nature as conceived by the ancients according to a conventional symbolism. The Tower Tarot card not only reflects the tragedy of 9/11 through its imagery. The force shown on the card by lightning and fire is the same force represented by the eagle on the $1 bill. The passive force shown by the building is the same passive force shown by the pyramid. The force in the Tower Tarot card is an emotional water energy that was put into action to produce a change in humanity. When two quarters are placed side by side so the opposite is showing from what was shown earlier, an eagle's head and an inverted triangle are seen. An eagle, more specifically an eagle's head, represents the active element of water in Western Kabbalistic magic.
An inverted triangle represents the passive element of water.
Why is an eagle a water symbol? The eagle relates to the zodiac sign of Scorpio, which is a water sign. Christian tradition has linked the four evangelists, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, with four symbols: man, lion, bull, and an eagle. The four symbols were taken from Ezekiel's dream, where he saw four creatures with four faces. The first living creature was like a lion. The second was like an ox, the third had a face like a man, and the fourth was like a flying eagle. The four creatures from the vision can be seen on tarot card number 21, the World or Universe card. In astrology, the 12 signs of the zodiac are divided into four elemental groups of three, one for each element of fire, water, air, and earth. The eagle also represents a phoenix, which is shown on some of the earlier Great Seals. The phoenix is reborn from its own ashes and represents rebirth and spiritual freedom. The cloud above the eagle is also related to a dream vision, like Ezekiel's. The cloud is a reference to David's dream in the Bible of building a temple dedicated to God, and the vision that George Washington had, where he was contacted by angels regarding the building of a united country for God. Here is a comparison of the Great Seal and Talisman of the United States with a water talisman made by a Golden Dawn magician. This talisman was made to increase personal pleasure or positive emotions. An image of the Ace of Cups tarot card was used along with the eagle's head and inverted triangle to provide the necessary symbolism. The Ace of Cups, shown by the overflowing cup, is a minor tarot card that represents emotional change in the microcosm or individual. It would be a perfect card to combine with water symbolism to create a personal change. On the other hand, if one wanted to create an emotional change in the macrocosm, using the Tower Tarot card would be perfect because it is a major card and reflects the universe. Here are some talismans that attract planetary powers. We can see the similarity between their two circles or seals connected by a strip and the two seals connected by the word 1 on the dollar. On the $1 bill, the connecting strip is the word 1. King Solomon's talismans, seals, are great examples of how specific images were combined with specific holy phrases to attract specific forces. Sometimes Solomon used Hebrew phrases and divine names, and sometimes he used Latin. The USA used Latin prayers on the Great Seal to call forth higher powers, just as King Solomon did. E pluribus unum was taken from the biographical writings of the Christian poet St. Augustine. The phrase relates to setting our souls ablaze and out of many making one. Annuit Coeptis is part of a Latin invocation to the Roman god Jupiter written by the poet Virgil. The original poem and prayer was an invocation to Jupiter requesting aid in the daring enterprise ahead. Novos Ordo Seclorum was also taken from a poem by Virgil and is often translated as New Order of the Ages. It is suggested that the poem was interpreted as a prophecy of the second coming of Christ to judge the world.
The three phrases on the $1 bill are not just words with the mere material worldly meaning.
They are all parts of invocations to bring unseen powers to use on earth, to aid in their new enterprise of making souls ablaze in people throughout the world and to unite everyone in harmony. Does the style look a little more historically familiar now? Here is another Golden Dawn talisman, this time attracting the planetary powers of Saturn. The similarities between the talismans and the Great Seal are easy to see. Both the talismans and the Great Seal have one side with phrases above and below the image, while the other side has a phrase in the image. The Great Seal is designed like the Saturn talismans, with an image on one side that has verse above and below, and the other side with verse in the image. There is one more thing hidden in the dark. Okay, maybe three. There are three geometric owls hidden in the $1 bill. The owl is a figure and animal sacred to the Egyptian god Horus. He is the god of the New Age, the third aeon. The three owls are devoted to Horus and the three aeons. Let's recap. The $1 bill is a coat of arms, or layman, and a talisman. It holds the energies of the number 13, love and unity. It uses the magical symbols of the water eagle and a truncated pyramid with capstone floating above. Folded, it holds the imagery of the Tower Tarot card, which utilizes the energies used on the seal. On the other folded side, it blatantly shows the two forces uniting in their most basic symbolism. There are Latin prayers, or invocation to gods or higher powers, which would have been used in a magical ceremony to call upon the forces necessary to charge the talisman. The $1 bill holds the same characteristics as a talisman. The $1 bill is a talisman. It is a sign, a push from the hand above. Israel Regardie, a Golden Dawn magician from the 20th century, says that when constructing a talisman to increase pleasure through emotions, one would use divine words and phrases together with the traditional symbols of water and the inverted triangle. We would also include the carob of water, the eagle's head, representing the sublimation of the intrinsic energy of Scorpio as the active power of God operating through the element water. What is a talisman? A talisman is a magical figure charged with the force which it is intended to represent. A talisman is a storehouse of some particular kind of energy, the kind that is needed to accomplish the task for which you have constructed it. Talismans are used in ceremonial magic to store a force and energy that is brought about during the ceremony. After the ceremony is over and the forces are dispersed, the talisman remains charged with the energy that was called for. The Great Seal and Talisman of the United States was constructed as a storehouse for the energy of everyone that came into contact with it. Our energy has been, is being, and will continue to be charged into the emotional water change implied by the symbols on the $1 bill. 911 brought on a new paradigm